We're back, Mike.
Yo, Dallas, what's good, man?
Man, I'm glad to be here. We had to take a little time off.
A little hiatus, man.
Yeah, life happens.
Absolutely.
So we had to take some time off, but we're back now.
Horse and the Hound are back.
We are back.
How you guys been?
Man, we're living.
Yeah.
Hoping to watch more football than I have recently. So much is going on lately that football had to take a backseat for a little while.
For sure.
But we're back. And we're back at the best time of year.
Yes, sir.
We got fantasy playoffs coming up in a few weeks. We got NCAA football playoffs coming up in a few weeks.
Basketball's going now. College basketball just getting started, man. It's the best time of year.
It is the best time of the year. And it's so much fun watching the Thunder with us being Oklahoma City guys.
Man, Thunder are crazy. I'm a Knicks fan for life, of course, but the Thunder play the game the right way.
They do.
Play hard. It's perfect, man.
Yeah, and especially just seeing Sam Presti, like how the difference of we all thought he was crazy. But what he's done is just
he's found a
unreal.
way to maximize every asset.
Uh-huh.
Be it a player, be it the money that he has, the draft picks. He just keeps stockpiling draft picks. It's amazing how efficient he's been as a GM.
Yeah, he's definitely a mad scientist because the dude has done a great job. What NBA team has a brighter future than the Thunder right now?
I think the Thunder are better set up than any other NBA franchise. They have a they have a star. I'm cautious about using the word superstar because my definition of a superstar is by your presence alone, your team is contending for a championship.
And are we talking about SGA?
I think SGA is on that fringe because obviously he hasn't competed for a championship yet. But I think he's the closest thing to being a superstar without being considered one, in my opinion. Yeah, but he's a top 5 to 7 player in my opinion.
Yeah, he's definitely there. And we got Chet Holmgren. I mean,
he's taking such a big jump. Man.
He is. Now his stature is scary to me. Watching him play it's terrifying watching him play.
But he's effective and he's dominant defensively despite him being really slight.
It is.
His timing has improved as far as being a shot blocker. He can stretch the floor. He puts it on the floor. Like he's doing it all.
Yeah.
This is second year. Think about how young you guys are.
Yeah, it's really exciting to see. The most exciting thing is we're getting the Clippers first round pick this year.
Yeah, I know you're rooting against them every week.
I hope they lose every single
game. Trying to get Cooper Flag or something?
Yeah, that's interesting. If you're the Thunder and how your team is set up right now, you have to go with Cooper Flag though, no matter what.
Yeah, I think he's the prospect that you want to get, and he has the ceiling that you want. But you guys are in position now to compete. You're young. You can compete now. You can compete later. You have a high-level star, superstar, whatever to build around.
You got to call him a superstar.
You can win every type of way. And if you add a Cooper Flag to that, it's over, man.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is the universe just trying to apologize to Thunder fans for the Kevin Durant, James Harden, Russell Westbrook days. Because we should have won one then.
You had opportunities, man.
Is that the best NBA team to never win a championship?
I can't say, man. I'm with you if you say most talented, maybe. I don't know about best to not win a championship. Some of those Pacers teams with Reggie Miller and Dale Davis, Mark Jackson Company, Jalen Rose, like some of those teams were really, really good. Some of the Utah teams, obviously with Stockton and Malone.
Yeah, they were good too.
Charles Barkley's '93 Phoenix team. That's crazy.
Three MVPs on that team. Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Kevin Durant should have won a championship, and the fact they didn't it's sad.
Well, a little older version, that Lakers team that lost to the Pistons when they had Shaq, Kobe, they had old Gary Payton, Karl Malone, Robert Horry, Derek Fisher.
Yeah, but those
that team was loaded.
But they were the end of their career.
Yeah,
these were young.
The talent was crazy.
Up and coming. We should have won one, and I think this is the universe telling us that here it is. You should have won one then.
Yeah,
the path is there now.
Yeah.
True. There's not a better path with Thunder than we got right now.
There's just an intangible quality about learning how to win, and I just didn't think you guys knew how to win at that point. But I mean, look what they all became, man.
Yeah, that's true. I'm hopeful though.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. What we got going on right now? Fantasy football playoffs.
Oh man.
That's our thing. Is fantasy football here. That's what we like to talk about.
Big time.
We made a bunch of big calls in the offseason on who we kind of thought was going to break out, who we didn't like. The everyday fantasy stuff. We were right about we were spot on in a lot of places.
Yeah.
We missed a few. We got a lot more right than we got wrong.
Big
a lot
facts.
more.
Big facts. Let's talk about it, man. So you want to start with the guys we were right about?
Yeah. I want to talk about first of all, we said what we said about running backs.
Okay.
We said there is so much depth at running back this year.
Yep.
That you can skip. You don't got to get one in the first round. You don't have to get your Jonathan Taylors, your Brees Halls, your Bijan Robinsons. You can get them in the third, fourth round this year.
Yep.
And look what happened.
That's the best formula. If you were redrafting, you would go high-end wide receiver early.
Absolutely.
Justin Jefferson, etc. You would go there early and then come back mid-round and take some of the running backs.
Yep. Some of the guys we talked about. The one that comes to mind right now that did not get the attention I think he deserved is Kenneth Walker of Seattle.
Ken Walker's good. He's killing it, actually.
He was a third to fourth round pick this year.
You were all over it.
And he has been, everyone who's drafted him has praised, everyone has called me and said, thank you for talking about James Conner. He's been a savior for me this year. Derrick Henry, early third round pick.
Yep.
Look what he's done.
Yep. Oh, man. And we like that bet, too. The line for his touchdowns was, 9.5?
9.5.
And he's easiest bet we ever made, man.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that pick. For me, I was really high on Chase Brown. Now, he's a little further down. He was more in that, 9-10 round range.
He's a sleeper pick. He was a...
Dog, I was all in on him. Didn't have anything to do with Zach Moss. Zach Moss was there and it ran a lot of people off. A lot of people drafted Zach Moss over Chase Brown, but I was team Chase Brown all day.
Yep.
Look what he's doing now. He's secured that backfield to himself.
He's a must start now.
He's a weekly starter.
From here on out, what do you have him in your top 10 rankings? I have him in the top 10 every week from here on out.
Oh, yeah. He's an auto start for me. So, your roster, if you don't start Chase Brown, you have a loaded roster.
Yeah.
I don't know who you're going into.
Yeah.
But he's a weekly starter for me. Because he's so safe with the passing volume as well, he's taking over the backfield. So, he's getting the receiving work.
In a good offense, which is so important.
Yep.
With a good running back and a good offense.
100%, man.
Okay, so let's talk about him with this next guy. Who would you start more? Another guy that we were right about, Mr. Tyrone Tracy.
Listen, everyone on here, that's my guy. I talked about it all offseason. I was telling everyone at the end of your draft, get Tyrone Tracy. I believed in the talent, and he's exceeded all expectations. And he's taken over the backfield like I thought he would because Devin Singletary is not a great player.
And he has taken over. He took it over fast. After the first time he got the opportunity, it was pretty much over.
Yep.
I had him picked up multiple times this year, and now he's an auto lock in my roster. He just
100%.
He's just so good. He's just so talented. Watching the difference between him and Devin Singletary play, it's
not close.
It's not close. You see a real talent.
Yep.
And a serviceable back.
And that's exactly why I had him on almost every roster. Me and you are in a lot of leagues together, so he's on one of our rosters.
In every league, yep.
So yeah.
Okay, who else you got?
Right about. At the quarterback position, a lot of places, and most of my teams, I'm on 12 teams this year. Don't judge. I got Jaden Daniels. And I was able to draft Jaden Daniels in the double-digit rounds in a lot of places. And he's been one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and he's been an amazing value.
Okay.
I was able to trade him for actually A.J. Brown in the league. I drafted Jalen. I went Jalen Hurts a little early, and I had Jaden Daniels. Traded him to a team that was struggling a little. Mm-hmm. Flipping for A.J. Brown, man.
That's an easy trade, though. I would take that all day. Okay, so say we're redrafting right now.
Yeah.
Your three big rookie quarterbacks. You got Caleb Williams, Jalen Daniels, and Bo Nix.
Oh, I'm going Jaden Daniels all day. Partly because of the OC. I feel like Cliff Kingsbury has his offensive system lends to the quarterback just being so active, running the ball, the athleticism. We've seen what he's done with Kyler Murray. He's replicating that success with Jaden Daniels. And Jaden Daniels has a wide receiver one in Terry McLaurin, who's ridiculous.
Well,
he has a great offense.
Well, you can say the same thing, but Denver is kind of going under the radar here. Their offense has been great. And Cortland Sutton, he's another quarterback, another wide receiver who just hasn't had a quarterback. You can say the same thing for Terry McLaurin. And look what's happening to him.
Man, it's
they're two top 10 receivers right now.
Oh yeah, they're busy for sure. No one would have thought that.
And
I didn't draft any Cortland Sutton or any Broncos players. I don't think in any of my leagues this year.
No one did. I didn't.
The offense has exceeded expectations big time.
So, is there going to be outrage when Bo Nix beats Jalen Daniels for the Rookie of the Year? Because it's happening.
Ooh. Well. I don't know that Rookie of the Year is necessarily a quarterback award like MVP kind of is. Because there's a guy in Vegas, Brock Bowers, is going crazy.
I wish that was the case, but that's not.
And he's arguably the best in his position already.
I agree, he is.
And you can't say those things about those quarterbacks. So I think there's some consideration there for other players. But do you feel like Bo Nix has been more impressive than Jaden Daniels?
Yeah. Well, impressive to watch? No.
Gotcha.
The way he's
as far
commanding a
as
team and winning games, and overperforming.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, it's impressive. I don't want to take anything away from Bo Nix.
Yeah, he's done, and I had very low expectations of Bo Nix.
Me too.
I didn't believe in him as a prospect, and I thought him going first round was laughable.
Yeah.
But he's exceeding
And
expectations.
look where we're at.
It's been a wild year, man.
Bo Nix is going to win the rookie of the year. I wish Brock Bowers would, but
like
it is a quarterback award, and it's going to be a quarterback award.
Brock Bowers is literally setting records as we speak. I know his team, it doesn't tie into winning the same way, obviously. It's the nature of the position.
Yeah.
But I think what Brock Bowers has done has been so impressive. And he's had awful quarterback play. Some of the worst quarterback play.
I think the Raiders are the worst team in the league this year.
Woo! I think we're down there. We're in that discussion for sure.
You and Jacksonville.
But would you rather be us or Jacksonville? You know what I mean?
I lean towards the side that has and I'm going to,
Uh-oh.
I say this with a little bit of hesitancy. They have somewhat of a quarterback.
Would you rather have, he's the highest paid quarterback or top 3 highest paid quarterback?
He's top 3.
Now, you're paying that guy who's not a top probably 15 quarterback, top 3 money. We're paying quarterbacks who aren't good next to nothing, and we're going to have some of the most money in free agency. So I think we're in a better financial situation moving forward. We have young pieces to build around. Brock Bowers is the tight end every team would want. Every team would trade their tight end for Brock Bowers.
He is.
And he's young.
He is.
He's a tight end quarterback's best friend. I think we're in a better position moving forward. Max Crosby, elite edge rusher. I just think that we have 2 building blocks, whereas Jacksonville kind of has some decent pieces.
But okay, so y'all have a lot of money on the defensive side that y'all got to figure out too, though.
Yeah.
I do like Brock Bowers. I do think he deserves it. But other than that, your wide receiver room,
Yeah, Jacoby Myers,
it's not good.
Monte Adams trade.
Your running back room,
Yeah, it's bad.
it's bad.
Oh, it's terrible.
You don't have a quarterback. Your offensive line is mediocre at the best.
Absolutely.
So no, I think that Jacksonville has more, and it sucks saying because they're terrible, but I just think they have the future looks a little bit bright for Jacksonville, especially with them probably not being in Jacksonville too much longer.
Yeah, I would like to see them move actually. I don't know where because we're both 2-win teams. I would like to see Jacksonville move. I don't know where. I've heard people talk about like moving NFL Europe, like moving them over there,
Or
like
to
London,
Mexico City, Germany.
I don't know if I feel a way about it. I don't know if
I don't
I'm
like
excited about that.
I don't like it.
So I don't know where I would move.
Let's keep football in America. It's the National Football League, not the International Football League.
Football, not football.
Yeah, I don't want to start calling it that.
That's
All right, well, I want to stay on because we have a bet that we got to talk about right now.
Let's talk about it.
Before the season started, I told you that Zamir White was not going to be the guy.
Yeah, you were right. 'Cause
You were all in on Zamir White.
the opportunity he had in a backfield with no other good running backs, little did I know he was included in that list of running backs who aren't good, man. So love my dogs, man. But Zamir White is a glorified fullback.
He's done, man.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
our bet was he had to break 1,000 yards.
Was it 1,000? He's not close to 1,000. I thought it was like 800. Whatever it was.
It was
He's
1,000.
He's not even approaching it.
I checked the records and we said 1,000 yards.
Man, he's not
And
even close. Let me see where he is.
There's no way.
Oh, he's not even close to 1,000.
So the bet was that you had to change your profile picture
Oh man.
to Baker Mayfield for a year.
Whew. I will do it, man.
Now,
I'll
tell you
honor
what.
the bet.
If you concede now and go ahead and put Baker on your Facebook profile picture, you can have it up there for 6 months. If you concede now.
I can do that, man. That's fine. I'll do it. I will change it for sure. I will honor the bet, of course, man. Zamir White, I'm looking at his number.
You talked me into Zamir White. I drafted him.
Yeah, I thought, and the thing is, I didn't draft Zamir White, but he's just not an NFL running back.
He's not.
He lacks explosiveness. He looks like he would be a high-end, powerful running back, but he doesn't run with power. It's weird, man. He's just bad call by me for sure.
Yeah, he's been a bust. Some other bust that we were wrong about. Speaking of busts, Breece Hall.
Man.
I don't. For Breece Hall's sake, it wasn't because of lack of his ability this year. I think that Jets organization is just. It's just like the Browns. They're just a trash, poorly ran organization from top to bottom.
They went all in this year, and they have three wins, I think.
They're in rough shape.
It's pathetic.
They're in really rough shape.
It is absolutely. And they signed Tyron Smith, and they traded for Devontae Adams, and they already had a Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall. They have talent. they had Amari Gardner on the other side locking down. Like they're just it's hard to explain why they're that bad.
Well, I think this is ownership. This is coaching. We see in the NFL how big of a difference coaching makes. Look at the Cowboys this year. You think it's just a coincidence that we lose our defensive coordinator who has put together the best defense in the league for the past 3 years? And then they have been. As a whole, they have been.
Okay.
We lose him, and then our defense just tanks.
It's really bad. Dallas, I think there's layered issues at Dallas. I feel like starting at the top, I feel like it might be a situation like when we had Al Davis, how we needed him to respectfully depart for us to find different levels of success, which we haven't found yet. But I feel like for us to get to where we want to be, that was something that needed to happen. I feel like Jerry Jones has too much influence over things that happen with the football operations, and I think it takes away from the team. So I think that's one step that you need to complete to start moving in the right direction.
The problem is that Jerry Jones has all the freaking money in the world. He's going to live till he's 312 years old.
Man, well, that's bad news for you guys.
And he ain't going nowhere. He's going to be here forever.
It's just, he just needs to remove himself from the football operations portion of it.
He's not going to.
I feel like the loyalty he has to certain players, Dak, we've discussed this at length. I don't feel like Dak Prescott is more than an above-average quarterback. I think his play speaks to that. I think we saw this year. He has a CeeDee Lamb, who some people regard as the best receiver in the world. You know what I mean? I just don't think Dak is an elevator of talent. I think things need to be perfect around Dak for them to be a really good team. And I think they're not because Dak is not really good. And now he's hurt.
Yeah,
so we paid him to win with Cooper Rush, right?
And we gave him a brain strap.
You paid him like he's elite, right?
Yeah, we're in bad shape. It's hard to be a Cowboys fan.
Cowboys pay the wrong people at the wrong times, in my opinion. Michael Parsons still remains unpaid. He's not paid long term.
It's hard.
And I think he's your best player. But
if I could go back and tell myself, pick a different team. Don't be a Cowboys fan.
Who would your team be if you weren't a Cowboys fan? If Cowboys didn't exist all of a sudden.
Right now, if I had to pick right now, I like Detroit. Now, I wouldn't have said this 3 years ago.
Detroit's fun to watch, man. Shout out to Brett Mims, by the way.
Who is more fun to watch than the Detroit Lions right now?
They have a great setup. I love the way they draft. Obviously, a lot of viewers know I'm big in the NFL draft. They draft a lot of players I like a lot, man. I love how their GM is going about it. This is Brad Holmes, I think. He's crushing building the roster around him. Jared Goff, I'm not crazy about Jared Goff. I think he has solidified himself as a solidly above average quarterback, and he's playing at a high level.
You know who he reminds me of?
Who's that?
Troy Aikman.
For the sake of the show, I'm not going to go in on Troy Aikman.
No.
I think you know how I feel about Troy Aikman, but I can see where you're going.
A winner, a Super Bowl champion, multiple rings.
I think if everything is perfect, if you put all pros and Hall of Famers around Troy Aikman, he does well.
Okay, so what has Detroit done for Jared Goff?
Yeah, I can see that. If you're saying that Troy Aikman was just simply an above average quarterback, I'm with you 100%. But a lot of people hail Troy Aikman as this Hall of Fame quarterback that was great. I don't think he's one of the.
I'm telling you,
I think he's the most overrated player in the history.
No, you're crazy there. I think Troy Aikman and Jared Goff. There's a lot of similarities there.
Yeah, I think they're both above average quarterbacks for their time
in a good system.
Yeah, now put them in a different system. They're not great players.
I'm telling you, Detroit. It's going to be hard. I think Detroit. It's Detroit's to lose.
Detroit's
this year.
On fire.
It is Detroit's.
You think they could beat Kansas City?
Yeah.
I would pray for it because obviously I'm not a Kansas City fan, man. But I don't know, man. I just don't trust Jared Goff on the road at all. I don't trust him outside either, but I definitely don't trust him on the road. I think he's a different quarterback. We've talked about that earlier.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm definitely pulling for
But
Detroit.
Jared Goff in a dome is something you don't want to come up against.
Yeah, for sure. Jared Goff is great at home and he's great indoors.
Nobody wants to play Jared Goff at home and the door. No way.
Yeah, for sure. That team is low, and they can run the ball. They got the fire and ice thing with Montgomery and Gibbs. Amon-Ra's crushing. Sam Laporte is starting to get going.
He is.
Jameson Williams is electric. Like, they have the best offensive line in football. Browns has constructed such a good roster in Detroit. And this is without Aiden Hutchinson. Their defense actually improved after the Aiden Hutchinson injury.
Yep.
They're deep, and they're really good on both lines of scrimmage. Mm-hmm. So, I definitely think Detroit has what it takes to win the ball. Man.
David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, I think, is the best running back duo we've seen. I can't think of a better running back duo. Ever.
Ever?
Duo.
Best ever is tough, man. I don't know. I think back to like a Michael Turner and
You're reaching.
I
You're reaching.
don't know, man. Best ever is tough. I have to think more.
People are
about
going to say Alvin Kamara, Mark Ingram, who were good,
team,
but they're not
sure.
the same. I don't think they're the same as what we're seeing right now. These guys are tearing everybody to. No one can stop them.
And they're behind the best O-line, so that does help.
It does.
You got the Bo Jackson, Marcus Allen, baby.
Okay, that's a pretty good one.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, they are such a good duo, and they complement each other so well.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
And no matter who's on the field, and the thing is, Gibbs isn't great between the tackles, but Montgomery can catch the ball. It's not simple enough to where you can scheme to certain types of play calls based on who's in the backfield. So they're so dangerous. Man.
They're scary. They're terrifying.
Shout out to Brett Nims, the only Lions fan. The only Lions fans I know that have been loyal forever.
Forever. They real Lions fans.
Real Lions fans.
But if you ask me if I had to pick a different team other than the Cowboys right now, it would be the Lions. I like Green Bay. Maybe Green Bay.
I respect Green Bay, man.
Yeah, they're a good organization.
I really thought Jordan Love was a bad pick. And when he got picked, I didn't feel any way about it. I thought he was overdrafted.
Mm-hmm.
But
Utah State, who are
these guys? What is this? But he's actually developed into a really, really solid player. And Jaden Reed, they put players around him who they don't have any elite players. I think Josh Jacobs is a really good player, but they don't have any elite players. But that offense is dangerous at every level.
Yep.
And they have types of players that can affect you at every level. And I think Jaden Reed is just one of the best gadget players. He's not just a gadget. I don't want to pigeonhole him, but he's running reverses and he's keeping the ball. He's running tunnel screens. He does it all. And I love that team.
Which I think what you're saying is they don't have a weak spot.
Yeah.
They just
they're
don't.
Solid everywhere.
They don't have a superstar anywhere, but they are good everywhere.
Everywhere, man. Yeah.
And it's a good transition there because I want to start talking about who has a favorable fantasy playoff matchups.
Ooh.
And you said his name, Jordan Love. Jordan Love's playoff matchups are absolutely insane.
Yeah.
And I understand that if you're playing fantasy right now, you're probably not going to go get Jordan Love. You get your past trade deadline. If he's on the waiver wire, your league sucks. If you have him, though, you can confidently play him pretty much for the rest of the season. He has an insane matchup for the rest of the year.
Love it, man. And that's another place. Teams don't want to go play in Green Bay. That's the thing. You don't want to go out there and play in the ice and play in the snow in the postseason, man. So that's late in the season as well, man. So that's something that you definitely have to consider, man. Yeah, I'm looking at Green Bay. They got at Seattle, week 15. So most playoffs are going to start week 15. You exclude week 18 unless you're in the kids league. But looking at they have Seattle week 15.
Get that. Yep.
Versus the Saints at home, week 16.
Let's take it.
And then they have the Vikings. So that's one. Yeah, that's a little tougher.
It's a little bit easier. It's easier to throw on the Vikings than it is to run the Vikings.
Big fact.
So
Vikings are great against them.
I love Jordan Love for the rest of the year.
Yeah,
I'm in a predicament right now where I somehow got Jordan Love off the waiver wire at the beginning of the season. It's in our 5 and 7th league.
Really?
Yeah, so I had no intentions on keeping him.
Wow.
He was a trade target for me.
Yeah.
I was like, somebody will go. I will trade him.
Wow.
And not a single person in this stupid league will trade for Jordan Love.
To be fair, I have Jalen Hurts and Jaden Daniels in that league, so I'm out on quarterback.
I get that.
So I'm locked away at quarterback.
There was guys who were still playing Sam Darnold, and they could have Jordan Love. Stupid.
It's crazy.
Trevor, stupid.
Shout out to Trevor Hardesty, man. So with the playoffs coming up, what are some tips and tricks that you want to let our listeners know?
So
get into it.
Yeah.
Preparing for the fantasy playoffs.
Yes. So, like you said, weather's starting to become a thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Look at teams' records. Are they playing for a playoff spot, or do they have the playoffs already in the bag? Like your Lions. I would start looking at teams who are still working hard for a spot and players who are looking for a contract.
Very nice. Yes.
So, someone like the Arizona Cardinals, okay?
Okay.
They're playing good. They're leading their division right now. And they have an older running back who is having a great year in James Conner, who is looking for a contract extension.
Yep.
He is someone that I am targeting heavy. I would love to play confidently. Unfortunately, I don't own him anywhere. But he's someone who's playing for something.
Yeah.
He has something to prove. He's trying to get that last contract before his career's over.
Definitely.
And get his team to the playoffs.
For sure. Another thing that you should consider when you're in the playoffs, for one, half of the league or normally half of the league or most of the league is eliminated.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times, if you have a good commissioner, you're going to lock those teams out. So it's just going to be you and limited other people in your league.
Yep. Start
securing good defenses because it's going to come down to the small matchups that you're not really thinking about. You can't just stream a defense. You want to make sure you have a good defense to match up in the postseason, so you have that positional advantage everywhere.
You can start being a little bit more liberal with who you're dropping.
Right.
Because you know who you're playing, you know who it would be an emergency to play. Right. So get rid of those guys and play someone who's going to help your roster week one. You have to win this week.
Yeah.
You have to win this
week at a time.
Yeah, you live 1 week at a time.
Yeah, man. Fantasy playoffs right around the corner, so we are a couple weeks away. How you looking in your leagues overall, man?
For the most part, I'm also in 12 leagues.
Yeah.
My favorite leagues, the leagues I'm most passionate about, 2 leagues I'm in with you.
Yeah.
The league we've been in forever, our 507th league.
Yeah.
And that league is our traditional league with a bunch of old Air Force friends. We take a guys trip every year. This league is not about the money. No one cares about winning the money.
Yeah.
This league is a pretty heavy punishment every year. This year we couldn't decide on one, so it's still kind of up in the air. So if you have any ideas, send them to us. Right. But that league, I'm in 8th place right now.
Dog, I'm in 9th.
You're in 9th place. Me and you are 8th to 9th.
It's all about not finishing the last.
But I'm in a place to still make the playoffs. I can still make the playoffs in my league.
Wow.
I got to win this week.
So you got to win out.
I got to win out.
Gotcha.
But I can still make playoffs.
Okay.
It's super close in our league.
Oh, another thing, and not to jump around, man. In that league, I drafted, and this is a person I drafted pretty much everywhere. People were wrong about Isaiah Pacheco. I went in on Isaiah Pacheco this year almost everywhere, and losing him to injury, it really sucks when you lose. And I had Jonathan Taylor as my first pick. Isaiah Pacheco, thinking I was just going to have just solid running backs as a 10-team league.
Yeah.
It has not worked out, man.
And that goes back to our wait a little bit the running backs.
Yeah.
Because you did that. I did.
On the turn.
I did Breece Hall and Breece Hall, Travis Etienne.
Yep.
Look
where we ended up, man.
Look what happened.
And I actually have a good roster. I have Jalen Hurts and I have Jaden Daniels. I have a good team in that league. It's just when you're missing your first 2 picks. And then I had Puka Nacua just as a keeper. And then he got hurt. So I've been without some of my prominent players, man. This cost me, man.
Yeah, but ultimately it's still fun, and we're getting to the best part of the year.
100%, man.
Yeah. So let's talk about something else we're passionate about: college football.
Oh, nothing better. Best sport in the world.
Your Georgia Bulldogs last night should have lost to Georgia Tech.
We absolutely should have lost. Bad teams found a way to lose, and good teams found a way to win. And Georgia found a way to win yesterday.
Yeah.
Despite the slow start, I just never really felt threatened by Tech because it feels like Georgia has a level they can take it to.
Yeah. It just took you eight overtimes to do it.
Yeah. It was not. We should have lost that game so many times. We also had chances to win where Arian Smith. Salute to Arian Smith. I think he's a phenomenal athlete in the way of running fast. Mm-hmm. He's faster than I'll ever dream to be.
Yep.
I think his true talent and calling lies in his ability to run in a straight line.
Maybe as a defensive back.
Maybe as a track runner.
Or
the United States of America.
Yep.
But American football, playing wide receiver where you're called to catch the football and run and do things with him, that's not his skill set. He's been at Georgia for 5 years. It's just not his thing.
Yeah.
I've watched him drop so many football, and Georgia leads the entire FBS in drop passes. I can't do it anymore, man. We're the University of Georgia. We should be able to field high-level wide receivers. And he's not a high-level wide receiver. He's not a mid-grade wide receiver. He's incredibly fast, nothing else. I'm tired of throwing him the football. We don't need to do that. It costs us in the actual games, man.
Georgia's not as good as everybody thought they were going to be. It's straight up. They're just not. They're not.
Whoa.
They're not.
And that's fair if you're comparing Georgia to previous Georgia teams. But
yeah.
If you're comparing them to the rest of the teams in the country, there's no one team that's just running over everybody. One's dominant.
I love that. that.
It's made the parity has made college football. This is the best year. We talked about this before the show. This is the best year for college football since 2007. The most parity that we've seen.
Yes, the talent gap has vastly distributed across the country. We have our teams that we're about to talk about, our playoff predictions.
Yeah.
That are who no one was thinking about. That are they might have first round buys.
It's crazy.
I love this.
It's crazy because for one, college football is the most polarizing sport. Like everyone is so dug in, myself included, on their own opinions. Everything affects everyone differently.
Yes,
so there's a lot of people who see the struggle Georgia had yesterday as the SEC's overrated, Georgia's overrated for winning against a team that isn't ranked.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
The SEC has not been. This year has not looked like they have in the past. They don't look great.
But you're comparing them to a previous version of themselves.
I'm comparing them to the country.
So what conference is the best in the country?
10 right now?
The Big Ten. If you match up the Big Ten and the Southeastern Conference.
No, I mean the Southeastern Conference from top to bottom
is the best, and if we can agree there, then I think that takes the overrated part out.
But our top, the Big Ten's top has been better than the SEC's top.
I don't know, man.
They have.
Well, if that's the case, then the Big Ten would be top heavy, which is a criticism people have had for the Southeastern Conference.
Yeah. In
the past. So now you're saying the SEC is the deepest. We've had the most teams in the top 25 consistently.
I think that's going to stop though. I don't think that you can have through an SEC team with 3 losses be ahead of a 1-loss. I'm going to say Big 12 team in here.
What?
That they shouldn't be, or ACC team.
We saw the ACC and SEC.
I agree. ACC.
Now Miami did beat Florida, but then you saw Georgia dog walk Clemson, and you saw Georgia beat Georgia Tech for whatever that's worth. Like, I don't know. I don't feel like the ACC is in consideration. South Carolina and Clemson doing battle right now.
I think there's a good team. I think there's a good team in the ACC this year. There's a really good one.
Clemson?
No. All right.
We'll talk. We'll talk about it, man.
Let's talk about our brackets. All right. So 12-team bracket this year. It's the first time it's ever done. 12 teams, college football. Who do you think the number one team in that should be?
We're just stopping today because I feel like Oregon's undefeated, so I think they're going to be.
Let's say season's over next week.
Okay.
We're going in the playoff bracket. Who's going to be the number one spot?
If Ohio State wins today against Michigan, I think they get the rematch Oregon and they'll beat Oregon.
Okay.
I can see that happening. If they do not win today, it'll be Oregon versus Indiana for the Big Ten championship.
I'm saying Oregon's going in. I think.
But let's just say Oregon. Let's say Oregon.
I like Oregon in the number one spot.
Okay.
And we're going to put the bracket right here.
Very fair. Okay.
All right. So Oregon number one. Number two, I have.
The SEC champ.
I have Texas Longhorns.
And you're projecting them to beat A&M and then beat Georgia.
Yeah.
What if they lose to A&M?
I don't think they're going to.
I just can't hold it past.
I think if Texas if A&M's defensive front comes out and plays like they have at times this year, they can. That's the only way they beat them. Get the Quinn Ewers.
This is a crazy year. Crazy stuff happens.
It is a crazy year, but I think Texas is going to beat them. I think Texas is going to win it.
Okay, so if Texas
and
wins,
I hate Texas.
And you think Texas will beat Georgia?
I think they'll beat them.
What did you think was going to happen the first time in Austin?
I thought Georgia was going to win. I'm on record on this podcast saying that.
And the thing is, Georgia turned the ball over 3 times against Texas at Texas.
Yeah.
And still won by more than 2. They won by double digits. They won by 15.
Yeah, they
do you think Georgia turns the ball over that many times again in Atlanta?
I do.
What's the path for Texas to beat Georgia if they?
I think
because we saw them at Texas.
We've talked about it. I think that Georgia went into an atmosphere where they were kind of, the line didn't show it, but their backs were against the wall a little bit.
Okay.
Going into away game, I think they performed. They came in ready to perform. I don't think that they'll beat Texas 2 times. I think Texas is a talented enough team that they're just going to be too hard to beat twice. Look historically. It's hard to beat a great team 2 times in 1 year. And Texas is a great team.
I saw Washington do it last year to Oregon.
They did.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like Texas is limited. I think if Texas started Arch Manning, it would give Georgia way more trouble than Quinn Ewers does.
Watch that. And that could I think that's going to happen.
And I think that I would be more afraid of Texas starting Arch Manning than I am with them starting Quinn Ewers.
I think in the playoffs, Texas is going to play a lot of Arch Manning. I think
in the playoff, but I mean, this is SEC champion. This is next week.
Well, I think that it starts next week.
This is the place Texas hasn't been, man. Texas, I don't know.
Texas is gonna. Arch Manning is gonna be a factor. He is.
Okay.
Because they're not gonna let him not be a factor.
And you don't think Georgia can beat Texas?
They can.
They've done it.
They can beat them. Yeah, they can, but they're not going to.
The thing is, Georgia plays up to competition. Tennessee, Clemson, Texas, and down to competition, like we just saw with Georgia Tech. We saw with Mississippi State this year. Like, I think when the moment is the biggest, Kirby Smart motivates his guy, and they just it's an intangible thing that Georgia has. They have the ability to take it to another level. But let's just say, for the sake of this, let's say Texas wins.
I have Texas. Also got Oregon number 1, Texas number 2.
Okay.
Number 3, and this is where I'm gonna get some hate. And feel free, we can change this bracket. We can change this.
Do your thing. What you got?
The Southern Methodist University, SMU.
Dog, come on, man. So, why do you think they should be?
All they gotta do is so that they play Cal this week, okay?
Right.
They are gonna crush Cal. They're gonna get through. They're gonna go in their conference championship.
Okay.
If they win that, they get the bid.
Okay.
They get a first round bye, and that will be the third.
If they beat Cal,
yes,
it should happen. Cal's not good.
Yes.
If they beat Cal,
and
they'll go to the ACC championship.
Miami.
Miami or Clemson.
It'll be Miami.
And you're projecting them to beat Miami.
Yeah. It's bold.
Why?
It's bold.
That's a lot to do for
bold.
an SMU team who doesn't have more talent than Miami.
I hear what you're saying. Have you watched SMU this year?
Yeah.
They look like a good team. They remind me a lot of last year's Washington. They don't have the explosive offense that they did, but they look like the Cinderella team of this year to me.
Do you think they could physically match up with some of them? If they play Georgia, where are you sitting that line? If you're Vegas, where are you sitting the line? SMU, Georgia.
15.5 points.
Where are you setting that line if it's them in Ohio State?
15.5 points.
Oregon. You know what I'm saying? These teams, I think by that you're showing your hand because
the 12-team bracket was made for this situation.
That's true. I agree.
It was
100%,
made for one game at a time.
Yeah.
SMU will be there. All they gotta do, it's in their hands. If they win this conference championship, watch out for SMU.
And you would see them ahead of some other teams?
Yes.
Oh man, I don't know, man. I don't know if I can see them ahead. This is where I think the strength of schedule has to be considered. And if you look at SMU's strength of schedule, it's not comparing to some other teams. I think winning other conferences is more impressive.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't.
I'd liked SMU's.
You would see them ahead of everyone else other than presumed Texas and presumed Oregon. Ahead of everyone.
Well, that's just how the bracket's made up.
I got you. Okay, but the 4 conference champions.
Yes.
Man. Okay.
If you don't, hey, this is democracy. Everyone's seeing our bracket right now.
Yeah.
If you don't want them there, then
no,
make your call.
No, play it through.
We both get one veto.
Yeah, I got you. If SMU does do that, I think they're more likely to get the 4th seed versus the 3rd.
I'll explain why.
Okay.
I'll explain why.
All right.
Because if they win out, they'll have one loss. Okay.
Okay.
The Big 12, I don't think one of those are getting out of there with one loss.
Who do you have winning the Big 12?
I think the Heisman Trophy winning team, the Boise State Broncos, are going to win it.
For one, you giving GT the Heisman over Travis Hunter?
I sure am.
I think it's a 2-horse race.
It is a 2-horse race. It's close.
On the pod, I tried to tell people he's the best running back in the country.
You did call that. But you did say that.
He's crazy, man. I don't know if is there a split Heisman talking?
They should.
A shared Heisman?
It is. People are talking like Travis Hunter has this wrapped up. I mean, he is great. Like how can you disrespect what Ash Kenty's doing?
GT's literally close to breaking Barry Sanders.
He's gonna break it.
He's about to have the best college football running back.
Knock on wood.
Ever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's ridiculous, man.
So, okay, you call Ashton JT. Let's get back to SMU.
Facts.
Sorry to go back to it.
Yeah, my bad.
Preseason.
Oh, not even a thought.
SMU was at 5.5 wins over under for the year. What did I say on this podcast?
Yeah, facts.
Pull it up. Pull it up.
You did bring up SMU.
I said they were going to blow past this. It's a lock. Put it in.
Yep, you did.
Look what they did.
100% to your credit, man.
So I think Boise State wins at large because their best Big 12 team will be Arizona State with a 2 losses. Yes.
Okay. And it does seem like the playoff committee, whatever, chairperson, whoever, I think they're kind of going by, they're looking at your record primarily. Mm-hmm. But judging by the way that they've ranked the team so far every week,
I
don't think they're really factoring in the strength of schedule like they should, in my opinion. So yeah, I can see it.
All right, so we got them. So you like them?
Okay.
All right, so that's our top 4. Those are our 4 buys: Oregon, Texas, SMU, Boise State. Who would have thought? And that's a start.
That would be interesting.
This is why we do this. We could be like everybody else and be boring and say top 4 teams. Bam. No, we're making some predict. We're going out on a limb. We're making a prediction.
Okay. All right.
We're going out on a limb making a prediction. Let's make it fun. This is what everybody should do. I want everyone to tell me what they think.
Yeah, for sure.
And let me hear yours too. Let's hear it. If you have a problem with it, let me hear what you got to say.
Talk about it.
Because I could also I could be safe and change this, and I could go along with what everybody else is saying. But this is mine.
Let's make it fun.
I'm making this fun. That's what it's about. That's what this is about. All right, we're gonna go to the number 5 seed in Ohio State. They're gonna get past Michigan. We're watching this game right now. We're 10-10 in the third quarter.
Yeah, they have to win this. If Ohio State loses to Michigan for the 4th straight season, it's a Ryan Day problem. It's hard to fire someone that's had that much success, but if you can't beat your biggest rival.
Well, he can come down to Norman, Oklahoma. If he wants to.
Would you fire Brent Venables to get Ryan Day? That's heavy, man.
I don't know. I know, but I know.
We'll talk more about it, man. So the way it sets up, so your 5 seed, who you have as your 5?
I have Ohio State.
So you have the Big Ten runner-up.
Yeah.
I think I looked at a bracket that had the Big Ten runner-up having an easier path than the champion. Because the champion, I think, based on projections, they have Georgia losing the SEC championship game.
This would, the way I have it here, the Big Ten champion would face the number 5 seed in second place. It'd be the quarterfinals, but it could happen.
All right, so who you got? So you got Ohio State 5.
I got Ohio State and Miami.
You have Miami.
The 12th seed.
So you have Miami losing to SMU in the ACC championship.
Yes.
Got you. And you would put, 2 lost Miami. Okay, so you don't have Tennessee in.
I do have Tennessee in.
Okay, do you have Tennessee in but not Bama?
Don't have Bama in.
Got you.
Okay. So, and I'm going to put this all right here.
All right.
All right, so we have Ohio State, Miami. Then we go to the 6th seed Notre Dame, who they're going to get beat in the first round.
By who?
By a Big 12 team in Arizona State.
Love Scatterbo at Arizona State. I don't know. Notre Dame actually has an electric back. Love is, I don't know. That's tough. That's tough. So
this is the year of the Cinderella story. I'm telling you, it's gonna happen. Arizona State beats Notre Dame.
That's tough, man.
All right,
okay. All right.
Now we'll go to the 8 seed, 9 seed, Tennessee and Penn State with an absolute dogfight.
Tennessee Penn State is a phenomenal matchup. Where is that? Who do you have as the higher seed?
I have Tennessee as the 8 seed.
Yeah, I think the home team wins that.
Yep.
If it's at Penn State, I'll probably go Penn State to win it. I really don't trust Nico. He has so much talent, physical talent. He's a big, strong quarterback. I don't know what he has, like the yips or something. He turns the ball over so much.
Yep.
It's weird, man. I think it started when he got hurt against Alabama. But
yeah.
It's something about him I don't trust, man. But I'll go with the home team there. So, okay, Tennessee.
Okay, so now we go to number 7 seed.
Who you got?
Your Georgia Bulldogs.
Go Dogs.
Versus Indiana.
Not even.
I'll take Georgia there.
I think this is a situation where Kirby Smart will get all the bulletin board material he needs. If you're getting a desperate Georgia team, a hungry Georgia team coming off a loss, prepare.
I agree. I think they're dangerous.
They will wipe the floor with Indiana. Respectfully.
They're dangerous. They are Georgia.
Things, but Georgia's a different level. Even at Indiana, at Georgia, wherever.
But Georgia's not. I mean,
I think we're a flawed team.
You are a flawed team.
Flawed team.
So let's miss the second round. We'll have Tennessee versus Oregon. I think Oregon beats them.
Yeah, I think Oregon is a better version of Tennessee. I think Oregon would handle.
They're a mature Tennessee.
Yeah, 100%.
I agree.
I like that.
Okay, so I'll take a step.
Dylan Sampson's second best running back in the country, by the way. Ashton Jeanty's number 1. Dylan Sampson at Tennessee number 2, in my humble opinion.
I agree with that. So I'll take a step. Ohio State, Boise State.
Ohio State would do.
I think Ohio State will do them bad.
I think Ohio State can pressure you. That front 7 is ridiculous, man. And if Ashton Jeanty isn't getting going, Boise State can't do anything with you, man.
I agree. Here's the game of the playoffs right here.
What you got?
Georgia, Texas.
This will be the third iteration, right?
The third iteration.
So it's hard to beat a team twice, right? So you had Texas beating Georgia.
And this is what I wanted to wrap us around. I didn't want to show my hand yet.
Okay.
I do think that Texas beats Georgia in the SEC championship.
Right. That's what you said.
When they meet in the playoffs, Georgia's going to beat Texas.
Yeah, I say I would go Georgia.
Horns down.
I would favor Georgia there, having to play the team for a third time, which is ridiculous.
Yep.
Committee, don't make that happen. Don't line. We don't want to see the same matchups over and over.
That's going to happen.
Fix that, please. But yeah, if that happened for a third time, I would leave with Georgia.
I'm going to go with you. You kind of felt like Notre Dame is going to beat Arizona State in that first round.
Yeah, Notre Dame's actually legit.
We'll put Notre Dame in. Playing SMU.
I know SMU you love SMU, and I'm not a Notre Dame fan. Notre Dame had an elite corner, and he got hurt. I don't know, man. That would be the most fun. That would be one of them ones.
That's the one I wanted to see. That
would be the most fun matchup.
I want to see because Notre Dame has that stigma of being,
they lose every big game.
They are blue blood. I mean, they are blue blood, but they do. And guess what game? They're gonna lose this one too. SMU's gonna do it. The Cinderella story at this point in college football. is going to be crazy. It's going to be SMU everywhere.
Okay. All right. And guess who ends Cinderella stories? Who they got next round?
You're right. The
Then
next round,
Georgia.
SMU, Georgia. I
Come
think
on.
Georgia
Would beat the life out of
I
SMU.
think that's going to happen.
All that cute stuff, Kirby Smart's not going for it.
Those are the kind of games that I think Georgia will. I think they will put their foot on the throat, and it'll be a TCU type of beating.
We saw Hawaii, Georgia back 2007 when no one wanted to play Hawaii. Colt Brennan, rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Colt
The
Brennan.
craziest offenses, June Jones, and then Georgia went and just steamrolled them and ended that program.
Yep, yeah, that was sad. Sad story.
So I think there would be something similar here.
So we got Georgia.
Going to the final, right? That advances.
That takes you to the national. That takes you to the
Come
finals.
on now.
All right. So we got Ohio State, Oregon. This will also be probably the third matchup.
That would be crazy. So I would favor Ohio State. If Ohio State finds a way to win, which they're struggling right now with Michigan, but if they found a way to beat Michigan in the Big Ten championship, the third, oh man, it's hard to pick against Ohio State.
It is.
Because I think they're the most talented team in the country. I think they're dangerously explosive everywhere. Emeka Ibuka and Jeremiah Smith. Jeremiah Smith is the next great thing at wide receiver. Emeka Ibuka is a first-round player. Trevion Henderson is good. Quinshawn Judkins is good. Donovan Jackson. Oh, man. Ohio State's loaded.
Most talented team in the country.
Absolutely. I would probably lean on that talent.
Ohio State has it at every level.
Yeah.
They are the most talented team. They're coached great.
Yeah.
Great fan base, great system, and it's almost impossible to beat them. But
for sure.
But Oregon will beat Ohio State 3 times this season, and Dylan Gabriel's taking the Ducks to the championship.
So you would have Oregon going. Okay, so your bracket you have
Oregon, Georgia, the national championship.
I'm going. In that situation, you know I'm not picking against Georgia in that situation.
Quack, quack, go Ducks.
You got Oregon going undefeated, winning it all. So
it's their time.
I can't see any team going undefeated in this system this year.
Well,
I can't see it. Whether it's a loss to Ohio State in the Big Ten championship. Okay, I would favor Georgia there. I would give Georgia the coaching advantage, obviously. I think Ohio State has better playmakers by far. Tej Johnson, Evan Stewart. Dylan Gabriel's a very solid college quarterback. Carson Beck, listen, I know Carson Beck looks funny. Everybody always trolls me about Carson Beck being ugly. Dog, I'm ugly too. Like, listen, ugly men unite. Carson Beck might look goofy, but he's a solid quarterback. I know he's turned it over a lot. Carson Beck is a better player. I think him and Dylan Gabriel are peers at the college level.
Carson Beck looks like a Guido gargoyle. Dude, he is the goofiest looking dude I've ever seen. That's mean, too.
No, he is. Listen, I know he looks goofy. Carson Beck can ball, man. He hasn't been great this season. He's had some stretches where he's turned it over way too much.
You're right.
I think in that situation, I think the bigger the game, the better Georgia plays.
Okay.
I would trust Georgia in that game over Oregon.
So you're taking Georgia?
In that situation, if it comes down to Georgia, Oregon.
Georgia, Oregon. Any gripes in this? Any gripes?
I would trust Georgia over Oregon in that situation.
Okay.
Because Georgia's been there.
They have, and so's Oregon. They haven't won it. They haven't won. They've been to the national championship.
They went to the national championship in 2011 against Cam Newton, right?
Yep, and they've been in the playoffs with Marcus Mariota when they.
True. I would Georgia more recently, a decade later. You know what I'm saying? Georgia's going to the championship.
This is the new era, dude.
And in the new era, Georgia's won championships.
And even since Georgia's won their championship, 2 years ago,
okay,
college football's changed. The NIL money has changed. In Oregon,
that's true. Oregon's going to be. Oh, going to be moving forward with
the
NIL.
And I think this is the start of it. I think this is the beginning of the Oregon era.
Oh, as far as them being the prominent program in the country?
They are the new Alabama.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's a lot to say, man.
It is. This is the beginning of the Oregon era.
And if Georgia wins this season, despite all the stuff we've heard about Georgia, the struggles that we've seen from Georgia,
it's still the Oregon era.
Despite reality.
Yeah. I'm telling you.
I agree moving forward. They look like they're set up.
Money talks. And Oregon has it.
Texas has money.
They don't have Oregon money.
I think I have to see it from Oregon. And I do think moving forward they are in position to be one of the dominant programs. I can't put them ahead of a Georgia who's actually being a dominant program as we speak.
But they haven't looked dominant this year. They just haven't. They don't look like a dominant team of the past. They look like a good playoff team.
Very true. I think that's true of everyone.
I agree with you. There hasn't.
You know what I'm saying? And then think about the schedule. Think about going to Ole Miss, to Texas, neutral against Clemson, Tennessee at home. Like, How many top 15?
Does Georgia have a more? Sorry to interrupt you. Does
No,
Georgia
no,
have a more impressive win than Oregon beating Ohio State?
Yeah, they've won at number one. Texas.
I think Ohio State's. You even said Ohio State's.
I think Ohio State's the best team in the country. But if you're looking on paper, which is I guess how they're.
And think about how many times we're gonna have to beat them to get for this scenario to work.
Georgia beating Texas.
No, Oregon beating Ohio State.
That would be very impressive. But you're gonna play Ohio State and Georgia back-to-back weeks and beat them both. Tall order.
That's the best argument you're right
You
there.
know what I'm saying? That's tough.
That is tough.
And I trust the depth at Georgia right now over the depth at Oregon.
Put a duck over my head. Put a bulldog over his head.
Come on now, man.
That's our official. Other than that, the rest of the bracket. Any other quorums?
It's
somebody
tough. The
that
SMU thing is tough. I pray that you're right, and you feed SMU to Georgia.
I'm swinging
I
for
would
the
love
fences.
that.
I'm swinging for the fences to SMU.
Dog, I would love that, man. I love that you're making that bold claim, man.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. I mean,
yeah, for sure.
I could have been conservative. I could have. I know that.
You went with the number one seed. To be fair, you picked the number one seed to win it all.
I am.
But the SMU thing is very bold.
It is bold,
man.
It is bold.
Yeah, it's good though. It's a lot of fun. I think college football, the playoff. Do you like the 12 teams?
I love it.
12. You think that's the right number?
I love
Would
it.
you expand to 14 and
win or go home. I love this. Yeah, I'll expand. I love.
You think the more the better? Do you think what's the right number for you for the playoff?
I think right now 12 is the right number.
12. Okay.
Let's see how it works. Let's see. I think people start seeing Cinderella teams upset people because it's going to happen.
They need it to happen to expand.
It's going to happen.
You know, I kind of feel like they're going to expand, man. Because
they will.
Oh man, Alabama not being in it is weird.
Yeah, and
I said before the season, Alabama would be.
And I don't think it's the fact that big teams are going to drop out of it. I think it's the fact that we're going to see these SMUs.
Yeah,
we're going to see Cinderella stories like we do. That's our favorite part about March Madness. We love that.
That's a fact. That's a good point.
That's going to happen.
That's a good point, man. It's tough. I think we're on the verge of something special with the playoff. I think college football is by far and away the best sport right now. I think it generates the most excitement, the most argument. And it's generating a boatload of revenue, too.
Yeah, oh gosh, they're rich.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, I want to get ahead of it. The first Cinderella story in college football playoffs, I believe, is going to be SMU. If you have a Cinderella you think is going to be in playoff contention, I want to hear it. Let's hear it.
Yeah.
Call it now, because this is the first time it's happening. Let's hear it.
Yeah.
All right, so I want to talk about something that's personal, though. I don't know if anybody's watching this, but this can really happen. I need Oklahoma fans.
Uh-oh.
I need University of Southern California fans.
Come on now.
To get on this. There is a chance, if y'all aren't paying attention, that Oklahoma and USC could find themselves in a bowl game.
Dog, we talked about this.
The people want to see it.
Dog, that would be the most exciting
Make it happen.
College football playoff game.
It'll get watched
in a long time.
It'll beat some of these first rounds.
Oh, 100%.
It might beat some of these second rounds.
It would be, and the thing is, I think everyone at OU would opt in.
Oh, OU, make it happen. OU and USC have to play each other. It's there. The scenario's there.
Both 6 and 5.
There's no reason not for it to happen.
OU was, USC will probably lose to Notre Dame today, but so they'll probably finish 6-6 most likely. OU might beat LSU and then they're 7-5 if they do. If they don't, they're 6-6 as well.
I don't think it matters. I think you
they're
put
both
all on the side, make it.
Line it up. We talked about it in the offseason too. Like, yo, what if?
Lincoln Riley.
We need to see it.
OU and USC have to play each other. People, make this happen. The power of the internet.
Yes.
We can do it.
Yes.
If you can do
Make
it.
a hashtag. Tell your neighbors what.
Make this happen. This is how we show our power in numbers.
Right.
The people have power when it comes to college football. If you're not an OU fan, if you're not a USC fan, I get it. We all have our teams, but we all can respect the amount of hate that Oklahoma fans have.
It would be
help
amazing,
us,
dog.
help us play them.
Yeah, powers that be. Think about the revenue that would. Think about the viewership that would generate.
Yep.
The hatred that the whole OU fan base, which is one of the blue blood programs and one of the blue blood programs in the country.
Think about these seniors on this Oklahoma team who have came back to play another year.
Yeah.
You know, and honestly, we've underperformed. It sucks to be an Oklahoma. I know I'm an OU fan, and I'm here with them no matter what.
Come on,
you have your Danny Stutzman, one of the best linebackers in the entire country.
There you go.
Guys who are all heart, who played with this Lincoln Riley coach, who left them. This is our chance to make it right for Oklahoma fans.
Dog, you know
People,
how exciting it is.
Make it happen.
It would be so crazy.
Yes.
And it's feasible. It's not a stretch to have these teams match up because they have a similar record. What's the bowl game we were talking about earlier?
Independence Bowl. It can happen. Make this happen.
Make it happen, dog.
This is what the people want to see. And make it happen, people. Please help us. I don't care about if this podcast does anything ever. This is for fun for me and Mike. We just like doing it. We don't talk sports
all day.
But if it ever did anything, if it made this matchup happen,
oh my God,
I would be happy. I'd be good with that.
And a win there would mean as much as a successful season overall, like record-wise, to OU fans.
Yes.
That would be everything. Getting revenge on him would be everything.
So TikTok, help us. Yeah. Help us. Oklahoma, USC in a bowl game. Make it happen. Share it. We have to have Oklahoma and USC in a bowl game.
Let's make it happen, man. Meanwhile, Georgia go win the championship. Do it again, man. Go Dogs.
I think Georgia's going to fall short. Mike, it's good to be back.
Dog, it's so good to be back, man.
We're coming back. We're going to do this. We're gonna try to do things a little bit different. Probably a lot of stuff y'all are gonna see, but the way we just organize it, we just need to take a step back, and life happened.
Yeah.
But I'm glad to be here.
Absolutely.
It was fun.
Man. So yeah, we'll be bringing a lot more content, man. We're gonna be a lot more consistent about posting, whether it be on YouTube with a video or just short videos on TikTok. TikTok is a platform we can get a lot of thoughts out really quickly. Yeah. So we'll be a mixture of both, man. And we're always exploring other opportunities, man.
And lives on every NFL day.
Yeah, for sure, man. So yeah, we're gonna get back in the swing of things, man. Like Dallas said, life happens. We're back, Horse in the Hound, man. Check us out. Support us everywhere. YouTube, IG, Facebook,
we're everywhere.
TikTok, everywhere, man.
All right, Mike. That's it.
It's a wrap, man. Until next time.
Peace, man.
Peace.